Happy full moon of Capricorn. The full moon of Capricorn perfected Friday, June 21st at 6:07 p.m. Pacific time, and the full moon energy will be active through the entire weekend through Sunday, June 23rd, when it moves into Aquarius at 8:14 p.m. So the full moon in Capricorn illuminates, brings illumination or culmination around Capricorn themes. This is like fathers. This has to do with status, reputation, work, achievements, our ambitions, our money, sometimes the structures or the foundations in our lives. And what makes a full moon is that it's opposing the sun. And so the sun is at 1 degree Cancer and the moon is at 1 degree Capricorn. And because the moon is only at 1 degree Capricorn, we're actually going to be having a second full moon in Capricorn, which is rare to have 2 Capricorn moons in 1 year. And the next full moon in Capricorn will be at the 29th degree, the last degree of Capricorn. July 21st, and I'll come and talk about that later. But what's important to note is that there's going to be double illumination in this Capricorn sector of our chart. So if you don't know the house that Capricorn rules in your chart, definitely contact me for a reading and let's look at your chart to see where these very important illuminations and or culminations will be taking place in your life as told by these Capricorn full moons. But to focus on this weekend in particular, there's a tension between 1 degree Cancer and 1 degree Capricorn that's happening somewhere. And Cancer themes are the very opposite of Capricorn themes. So we're looking at mothers rather than fathers. We're looking at our innermost world versus our public life. We're looking at home and family as opposed to work and achievements. Cancer is our security or our insecurities. It has to do with our safety. It has to do with our feelings and our emotions, whereas Capricorn is more about the practicalities and just the business of life, and so there's a tension between these two sectors reflected by this full moon cycle. And what even ups the ante even more of this alignment is that it's creating a grand cross with Neptune and Black Moon Lilith, who are also opposing each other. And Neptune is in Pisces, so it's this very dreamy, kind of mystical energy. And then Black Moon Lilith opposing Neptune has to do with the dark feminine. So this has to do with darker topics around women, whether that's, rage and anger, sexuality. It can be, abortion, rape, domestic violence, homelessness. Any dark topics around women can be activated because of the opposing nature. Black Moon Lilith in and of herself is not negative, but she does represent dark feminine qualities, which can sometimes be very sexy, very magical, very powerful, but in opposition, it's going to be the more challenging representations of these qualities. And the same with Neptune. Even though Neptune is quite artistic and imaginative and healing, because of the grand square being formed, we're seeing some of Neptune's more shadowy topics, which can be, confusion, chaos, deception, delusion, illusion, smoke and mirrors, lies. And so it's a very intense weekend. The best of this square is found in creative energy. Neptune represents filmmakers, poets, musicians, painters, photographers, anything to deal with images. And Black Moon Lilith indicates things that come from the deep depths of our subconscious. And so there is a lot of great creative energy there to work with, even with the Cancer and Capricorn axis. And so that's the best of it, is being able to integrate all these opposing forces and kind of wield it from the center position, as a creator, as an observer, as a mystic. But yeah, these are kinds of the energies at work, and the oppositions between the sun and the moon, and also between Lilith and Neptune. They can create the feeling in our lives of someone opposing us, a boundary being created, an impasse, and the squares require action. So these are conflicts or challenges around the themes that I've just discussed that require action of some kind to overcome, and that's why they can be very creative. But yeah, so that's just a brief cliff notes of the energy. I encourage you to contact me for a reading to see which areas of life the grand square is of this full moon are touching in your life. But the full moon energy, again, even though it perfected Friday, June 21st at 6:07 p.m. Pacific time, the energy carries through for the entire weekend. And also because this full moon energy is reflected in the ingress chart of the summer solstice, which if you haven't already, go back and watch my video on the summer solstice. The full 15-minute video is up on my YouTube channel, Eliane Nicole. Only the first 5 minutes are up on my Instagram page. And so the first 5 minutes don't get into the full moon or the Neptune Lilith energy at all. But on YouTube, the full 15-minute video has some very valuable astrological information about the summer solstice chart, which describes the entire season of the summer. And that's why the energy of the full moon, even though it's very powerful and prominent this weekend, it's going to be reverberating through the entire summer season because it's present in the summer solstice ingress chart. And so definitely go back and watch that video. And the best of all is to contact me personally for your own personal reading, so we can look at your birth chart and we can see where these energies are blooming and at play with your own personal astrology, because it affects everybody differently depending on our own personal astrological coding, and then it affects the collective. But if you don't have any charts, any planets at these degrees, 1 degree, 29 degrees, then it might be something that you're observing more on the world stage, or you're seeing family or friends or people you work with go through it, or you're just experiencing it when you're out on the street in public areas. So it affects everyone, but it affects some people more personally. So definitely, get in touch with me. Let's look at your chart together. It's so important to have an understanding of your own astrological coding and your own astral body. And it's a tool for self-awareness and self-discovery, and for, navigating the terrain of these very interesting times in humanity that we find ourselves incarnated in at the present moment. And I look forward to working with you. I'm Eliane Nicole, your astrologer and tarot reader. Thank you so much for joining me. And here's a tarot pick for the full moon of Capricorn. The Hanged Man. I love this card. It's kind of like a yogi card. It's kind of just like, it's an inversion. So it's looking at things from a different perspective, and it involves balance and focus and relaxation all in one. And being centered and spending time in nature, I think, too, is reflected in this card. Balance and strength and flexibility. If we bend, we don't break. Have a wonderful Capricorn season, or Capricorn full moon moment, weekend, and summer season. Bye now.